Goddess Just Be, and today we're going to be talking about inner union and what it has to do with ending unconscious contracts. If you're part of my inner union, esoteric knowledge group via Zoom on Sunday, you would have been able to capture how identity of yourself created by ego, multiple versions of yourself that's created by ego, needs to be seen. Because consciousness is about being conscious of your beingness. To piggyback off of that lesson that I taught on Sunday and the video that I shared in my inner union library on YouTube, I want to add another layer. Because that's the thing about consciousness. There's so many layers and layers and layers. It's like onions that you got to pull back to really see to the core of your I am presence. So sometimes in the physical reality, when I'm talking about ending unconscious contracts, I'm talking about the moments in the physical reality when life hands you an opportunity to see where you are still showing up out of identity instead of truth. And when I say identity, I'm really talking about those moments last week when I was talking about the seeker. That's an identity. The healer, the manifester, the awakener, the nobody, the observer. All 6 of them are identities, but then life will begin to show you more layers of the identities that the ego done built for you. And all of these roles you playing in the matrix, but you got to see them. You got to be able to see them so you could really see the system. Like a lot of conscious people come in, they'll be like, man, look, they got the NPCs out there, they got this, they got the bots, they got this. Consciousness ain't about all of that bull crap. Consciousness is about you seeing you and all of the many layers that your ego done assigned to you and you trying to carry that person. All right? And this could even show up in close family. I'm talking about to the point where you realize that you've been maybe confusing love with obligation, because those are not the same thing. And that underneath that becomes another layer of identity that the ego assigned to you. And in the conscious community, you'll hear about conscious people just picking up and just going, being about their father's business. This was what the Christ conscious one did in the biblical text, in the Helios Biblios, which is a story about you, from you, to you. I'm going to go and be about my father's business. Didn't you know that? Right. But to be about your father's business, that allegory text was not about cutting people off. It was about ending unconscious contracts that your ego set up because it gave you an identity with certain people. Greetings. Hey, ladies, I see you, babe. Because love and obligation are not the same thing. You can love somebody deeply without abandoning yourself. Hello? Testing, testing. You can love somebody deeply without feeling obligated to abandon yourself. All of those identities that I speak of, when an identity like that dissolves, something surprising happens. You don't love less. You stop offering yourself where your presence is no longer freely chosen. And you'll see this in family dynamics. You'll see this on the workplace. You'll see this with friends, where people really get that confused. Love, obligation, entity, identity, contract. Inner union isn't learning when to lead people. It is no longer allowing your freaking identity to tell you when to stay or when to leave. Because if that is the case, then that identity is leading your life and your I amness is in the back seat. When identity or ego need to be in the back seat. and the I amness supposed to be driving the SUV. But along the journey of the I am essence driving the SUV, you'll discover if ego is in the back seat that that SUV is fully loaded with so many identities that you allow the ego to put you in, to create for you. And when I say identities, I'm talking about entities, identities, entities, identities. These are the principalities and the rulers of darkness that we really, really create within ourselves. Because they're yours. Ain't mine, it's yours. You created them in here, it's yours. It's an identity in here based upon how you see the world in here, it's yours. It's assigned to you and it has a frequency, it has a momentum, and we're going to call it an entity because you created entities because you gave so much of momentum to them. Love versus application. Here's the thing about it, because presence doesn't debate on should I stay, should I go. Presence decides in the moment. And so that means it's not going to always be, I'm going to be obligated to this here. I'm going to stay because this here. No. It's, I'm going to stop letting roles make my decision. I'm going to stop letting a role of an identity make my decision if I'm going to stay in this contract or not. Well, you know, because I'm a good, hard-working 20-year employee. That's a role. That's identity. Well, you know, I've been married for 50 years. That's a role. That's identity. So we'll have these roles and these identities that we are tied to, clank, clank, bound to, clank, clank, the ball and chain, clank, clank. Because you signed up for a contract, and part of the contract was you to play this identity, and part of this identity was tied to an entity, and you didn't realize it was an entity the whole time. You called it love, but it was really just you being obligated to the entity that the ego set up for you, when the ego should have been its ass in the back seat of the SUV, and soul should have been leading with presence. So today it's stop letting the roles make decisions for us. And so this extends from seeker, identity, healer, another identity. If you say I'm the healer and I'm acting like a healer, that means I'm playing the role as an identity of a healer because I really am the I am. Seeker, healer, observer, awakener, teacher, manifester, observer, nobody. All of these are identities. Because the only thing that's true is the I am. But then there's another hidden identity. Another hidden identity could come into play as the loyal husband and wife, the loyal girlfriend, boyfriend, the loyal daughter, the loyal sister, sibling, brother, the loyal neighbor. Those are identities too. But they're loyal in this identity, but not loyal to themselves. Because they felt that ball and chain. They sometimes didn't want to show up, but they did because it was loyal to the contract. It's an unconscious contract. You can't really see it. That's the hint. It's unconscious. You can't really see it. You say, oh, I'm just a married man or woman. Oh, I'm just the system expert. Loyal contract. Oh, I'm just the healer. Loyal contract. Oh, I'm just the one that always does. Loyal contract. All of those loyal contracts leave you not loyal to yourself. And then identity whispers, I have to keep showing up, because that's what the system expert does. That's what the family, our friend does. That's what the wife or the husband does. That's what the girlfriend or boyfriend does. I'm in this loyal contract, and I don't know how to end this unconscious contract because loyalty precedes it. I'm not loyal to myself, but I must be loyal to this here situation. And when identity speaks, obligation follows. When presence speaks, though, choice returns. Because you have a choice if you get into that damn presence. Because see, presence of the I am essence, it's always there in the room. But can you hear me? Mayday, mayday, mayday. Can you hear me? Over and out. Presence. I never leave the room. Never ever do I ever leave the room. I'm always there. I am the I am. I am the eternal. I am the everlasting. The identity, it's only passing by. All of your identities, they only pass by. It's a game. It's a play. You haven't realized that yet, but I am the I am. It is eternal. It is the void, that vastness, that boundless, that nothingness, that darkness that was on the face of the deep. It never goes away. It is the essence of God, where all souls stem from. Mayday, mayday. Do you remember me now? When presence speaks, choice returns. When you in the unconscious, when you in the unconscious contract, present can speak. It's kind of like how I teach. We have the devil on one side, the angel on the other side. And so the side that the devil is on, that be our trauma. Trauma be loud as a mofo, right? Some people don't know how to read intuition because the trauma is so loud. But the angel on the other side is always there. No, baby, everything's working out for you. Don't go. Relax today. Turn this way. All things are working out. You're perfect. You are the I am. You can't hear that when the trauma said, I wish a mud would. Because trauma loud into the presence is just a little low, and then you don't hear the presence, but the presence never left because the presence is always, it's eternal, it's everlasting, it never goes away. But you can't hear it because it's a little low. And you got to practice a little presence, a little stillness in order to hear that thing. But the trauma is over here screaming it loud in your ear. You hear that one, and then you say, I don't have intuition. I don't hear my inner guidance. Because trauma's screaming. Of course you're not going to hear anything gentle and soft like presence. You're not going to hear it if you can't keep still. You're not going to hear it if you're in an unconscious contract with an obligation. Because the obligation is going to be really, really loud. And you're going to think to yourself that I got to be loyal. I got to be loyal to this obligation because it's really loud in my ear. The presence is in that room. Presence don't ever go no damn where. Either you see it or not. This is why it says, he who has an ear, let him hear. Okay? Identity speaks. And guess what happened? Obligation follows. All of your identities. I don't care if we're talking about the seeker. I don't care if we're talking about the healer. When that identity speak, your ass gonna follow. Because you in an unconscious contract. That one day has to end. One day you have to be loyal to you over that contract. And that might look a little crazy, a little strange. You might get a little judged for this now because guess what? Now you're trying to be loyal to yourself, and how dare you do that shit? What do you mean you're going to be loyal to you? What do you mean you're going to rest in presence? What do you mean you are the I am? How dare you be the I am and remember that before I get a chance to remember that I am the I am? How dare you get in alignment before I can get in alignment, and you knew about alignment and you remembered alignment and I don't remember alignment? How dare you? Says the ones you are being loyal to. So the question is, where are you still showing up because of a label? Because consciousness is saying, see it. Don't judge it. Don't try to fix it. You just need to see it. That's it. That's what consciousness is all about. You just got to see that thing. Work. Yeah. Work. You got to see that. You got to see that identity, because as soon as you being the I am, look at it. It could collapse. This is akin to you seeing the whole entire system of the ego. You hear me? If you could get on the other side of mine and see all of the identities your ego done built in the system that you operating in, you seeing the blueprint. You seeing what's your stumbling block. You seeing where all your energy going. But you're trying to manifest this over here when you got 80% of your energy resting in identity. Because you want to be loyal to it. You want to keep on giving resistance to it when the contract is trying to end. So if you remove the title, you'll see more than that. You'll see more than work. If you remove the title, if you remove labels from certain things, like the label of being the child, being the sister, being the brother, being the friend, or being the partner, we remove that label. Would you still choose to be loyal to that obligation that's tied to an identity? Would you still choose that relationship as it exists? Would you still choose? Or would you release the resistance and end the contract? Sister, I want to see the blueprint. I know that's right. This is the blueprint right here. I promise you. Is your presence freely given? Or is it being extracted by identity that you never questioned? The identity. This is low key. I'm sharing this with you all, but I'm sharing this with you all because I am. I'm going to call out some identities here. I am a healer, right? Yeah. I am a blood type connection catalyst, right? Identity. I am. Wait, hold up now. I am a seeker. I got one of them identities too. I am. Let me call out my shit. Let me call out my blueprint, because if I call out my blueprint, maybe you will see your blueprint. I'm an observer sometimes. You know, I'm conscious. I like to observe shit. If I pick up, I observe it. That's an entity too now. Don't get caught up on that one. Let me see what else I am. I am an awakener. And so when we pick up the I am awakener stuff, we'll talk about the Kundalini energy. We'll talk about the tingling in our forehead. We'll talk about how we woke up and how our ears are ringling and how our back and its spine is tingling. And we'll talk about, that's an identity too. I am a mother. Oh, there go another identity. Oh shit, I'm a black lady. Identity. Ain't nothing wrong. These identities aren't bad, but I want you to see them. Consciousness is about seeing all of your identities. I am an employee. I'm a retiree. Identity. I am a nobody. Identity. Because in order for me to observe myself being a nobody, then the opposite must be true. Then I must be a somebody. So if I'm a nobody, then I'm a somebody too. And I'm really not neither one of them. All I am is the I am. So anything that I put behind I am is me seeing another identity that my ass been carried around. And so in my SUV, just like yours, your ego, my ego, our ego give us all of these freaking identities that we become loyal to. I gotta be loyal to my identity as a healer. But underneath that healer, sometimes there's fear. The reason why that seeker exists is because sometimes there's survival issues. The reason why that manifester exists is because sometimes there's lack. And so underneath at the bottom of all of them identities be an energy that you need to see. Because if you see it, you could collapse it. Because that's what consciousness is. You gotta see that the seeker in you is on survival mode. You gotta see that the sibling in you is not being seen. You gotta see that the employee feel like they dog ass tired and they a hard ass worker for nothing. You gotta see the identity in order for you to see what's underneath the identity, why the ego created it for your ass. And if you don't see that, you ain't gonna really see why your frequency off. You ain't gonna really see why your manifestations ain't landing. You ain't really gonna see how to get free. You ain't gonna see that you even have a damn contract if you don't see yourself. It's time out for seeing freaking bots and seeing NPCs. When you gonna see you? And all them damn identities in that SUV when the soul is supposed to be leading and the ego's supposed to be in the back seat. When you gonna see you? Cause that SUV is full of you shit that you ain't been seeing. Somebody said, wow. So instead of saying friend or sis, etc., call them by their name. Start calling stuff by the name of the identity that it is. Free yourself by calling it the name of the identity. Oh, that's my seeker. Cause see, you gotta, here's the thing, if I never gave you nothing that's gonna bless your soul, you gotta make peace with all them people, all them entities that's in the SUV. You don't unalive no damn ego. You hear the ego and say, heard. Mm-hmm. Ego was necessary for you to become dense enough in this matrix. Heard. Be winnable when the ego speak. Heard, noted. Okay, but we still driving. My soul's still leading this thing. You still staying in the back seat, okay? Ego ain't nothing but like a little turbo 2 toddler. You gotta have the ego on board in the SUV, baby. Cause see, to him who much is given, much is required. You got a lot of stuff that you require to deal with while the I am presence is riding in that SUV. You gotta deal with the ego and all them identities or entities that's in that SUV cause they coming out of you. May I have eyes to see and ears to hear. You got it? Good, okay. Oh, that's my healer. I'm not saying you have to stop being the healer. I'm asking you to be aware that you got a healer in that SUV. Be aware that you got a seeker in that SUV. Be aware that you got a contract from loyalty to people in the physical reality, and that so-called loyal identity is in that SUV. But you need to be loyal to you. You need to be loyal to the fact that my soul is leading this here. Let there be peace. Let there be peace. Have you ever questioned your identities? Like, why are we doing this and we dog ass tired? Who is this? Why are we giving and we on eat? Why? Because you're going to get on the road trip, you're going to get to a point where the question that fall away are going to be the questions that you used to ask, like, how do I heal this? You ain't going to be worried about how to heal no more when you aware that you got a healing identity in that SUV. You're going to be jumping, want to heal, because see that jumping to want to heal, you want to be all things to all people. Underneath it, the frequency is not in alignment. So that question and attitude about, how do I heal this? That'll be a question that a healer asks. But you are the I am. How do I get them to understand? That'll be a question that a seeker asks, but you are not a seeker. You are the I am. Let's end them contracts. What lesson do I still need to learn, says ego. Now the ego will loop your ass all the way down to lesson after lesson. Go watch 20 more YouTube videos because you ain't get it just yet. Lesson after lesson after lesson after lesson after lesson after lesson after lesson. That's a student identity there. Forever a student. It'll forever have you questioning, how do I manifest a better relationship? How? How? And then you go down that portal. But that's an identity too. The identity may be of that honey hill little girl and little boy up in that SUV. They up in there too. Now all you shit in there. All of your identities in there. And that's why you gotta call them by their name. You gotta call them out so you can see them. So it ain't really you seeing them. It's really you seeing all of the layers of the onions within you. You simply see the play as what you're seeing because this is a contract right here. This is the world is a stage play, and it's your stage play because it's your ego that made all of these entities. This ain't nothing but the movie The Matrix where they had all of the angels just jumping into this body and this body and this body and this body and this body. But you are the one. You are the O-N-E Neo that must save your damn self. And in the contracts, you're not the N-E-O, you're the O-N-E. Because once you truly see the play, once you see it, you no longer need to participate. You no longer moved by it. Healer could say what he want, who or she, he gonna go heal. And you could sit there and be still. Because you understand I'm not here to be all things to all people. I am the I am. All of these things are just passing by. If I feel like it being the healer, I'll do it because it feels good to me, but I would never participate in being the healer because of fear. Because you saw the fear in the healer already. If I choose to be a seeker, I'll seek, but I'll never be a seeker because of survival. You see what I'm saying? When you see it, you collapse that negative frequency underneath it, and you free yourself. This is ending unconscious contracts. You call them out by name. You understand ego created all of those entities. They are identities of yours. And when you see your identity, you see your entity. And when you collapse or in the contract of it, you free yourself. But we so free we could choose bondage. We could choose, no, you don't understand, God. It's because I'm a healer and, I got to heal this person, God sent me here to be a healer, and God sent me here to do this, and God sent me here to serve this, and God sent me here to seek this, and God didn't send your ass nowhere. Ego doing that shit, playing with your mind. A double-minded person is unstable in all his ways. Let that man receive nothing from God. You double-minded. If you picking up ego, then you want to pick up soul. Pick up ego, pick up soul. Soul was supposed to be driving. No, ego, you could go head on and drive us because I don't even know where the soul is leading. It's too peaceful up in here. It's too quiet. Go ahead on, ego. Send me some trauma. You take the steering wheel. Nah, double-minded person receives nothing from God. Ha! Somebody say ouch. When you see it, you don't need to participate in it. So what does freedom actually feel like? Freedom don't feel like no damn fireworks. Sometimes freedom just feels like the absence of obligation. I felt freedom when I retired. 22 years of obligation. Transmission engineer felt like freedom when I retired, didn't know where I was going, but I sure felt free. And he who the law sets free is free indeed. Sometimes freedom feels like the absence of rehearsing conversations. I don't give a damn. I'm not the seeker no more, so guess what? I ain't gonna rehearse that shit. I'm free. I don't care what you say about me, what you think about me. Guess what? I'm still the I am. That's what freedom sometimes feel like. Yeah, it does. Sometimes freedom feels like the absence of hoping that they will finally see me because I did this and I did this and I did this and I did that. That's the seeker. That's the seeker if you didn't pick her up or him up. That's the seeker in identity. And freedom sometimes feels like the absence of hoping they'll finally see me. Well, if I slap on the knob, maybe they'll see me. Well, if I help around the house, they'll see me. Maybe if I'm the system expert, they'll see me. Maybe if I'm good and neighborly, they'll see me. Maybe if I'm the best wife, they'll see me. Maybe if I'm the best healer, they'll see me. Maybe if I... Hell no. Freedom is the absence of hoping that they'll
finally see your ass. Because you the I am, regardless. That ain't gonna never leave you. You are the I am. You're not the identity.
Sometimes freedom go a little bit like this. It is the absence of care in a relationship all by your damn self. Well, I cook and I clean and I pick up behind them and I iron his clothes and I do this and that and the third. And sometimes freedom ain't got all that. Sometimes freedom is, oh girl, listen, I'm single. Yeah. Oh, but I was free. Oh yeah. Oh, no longer bound. Sometimes freedom look like that. Sometimes freedom is the absence of betraying yourself to keep someone else comfortable. Sometimes freedom is the absence of abandoning yourself for them damn identities inside of that SUV that the ego created. Sometimes freedom is just listening to the sweet, still voice of your soul and letting the soul lead you to your I am presence, no matter what the people say. No matter what people say. Sometimes freedom is you standing there and letting people say what they want to say or how they feel about you to your face, and you just look at them and be like, I'm so glad you got that out, baby, because I was free. I was free. I don't feel that way about me. I feel free because I'm the I am. I'm whole. And that's what you think about me. But I finally see me. Sometimes freedom is quiet. Because see, that's how you get to peace anyway. It says, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall inherit the kingdom of God. It don't say, I mean, I ain't read it in a while, but it never said blessed are the ones who follow this identity and this identity and this identity and this identity and be loyal to this identity and this identity and this identity. Oh no, it said blessed are the peacemakers. Well, where you gonna make peace at? Well, the identity's in here, in my own universe, in my own simulated environment, so I guess I can make the peace up in here too. Blessed are the ones that can make the peace in here, for they shall inherit the kingdom of God. So to end these unconscious contracts, sometimes this means there's a turning point for you, me, the person, the physical human being, to walk the yanks away. And walking away don't always walking away don't always feel to your person comfortable. To your person, it don't always feel right. But walking away is never an action against other people. It's never an action against anyone outside of you. It's the moment that you stop walking away from your damn self. Hold up, you might be loyal. Hold up, I gotta break that down to you. Because if you walk away from the loyal job and the loyalty that you've been doing for this person and that person and that person, you might think, oh my God, I just couldn't. I could never because I'm the healer. I could never because I'm seeking validation for them so much. I just can't wait till they tell me great job. So it ain't gonna feel right to your person in the flesh. But I'm not talking about walking away for your person. Because your person want to receive a badge of honor. They're caught up into this shit. They're caught up into this ego and identity. But it's a moment of clarity that you stop
walking away from yourself, you stop abandoning yourself to be loyal to contracts that need to end. You stop destroying yourself because the stress is a silent unaliver. You start to free yourself. Your little girl, your little boy, who wondering why you're doing this, that, and the third for the people outside of you when you really need to bring it on in and do something for yourself. When you really need to start having those loyal relationships with yourself. When you really need to stop cheating on yourself. When you really need to start feeding yourself fruits and vegetables, herbs and nuts. You healer, you heal your damn self. Rest your damn nerves. You teacher, you teach yourself something. You be your student since you the damn teacher. All of you identities, entities that's trying to serve others, to seek from others, to be all things to others, bring it on in. Call your energy back. Stop walking away from your damn self in contracts that ain't serving you. And as soon as you walk away in contracts that ain't serving you, you walk back into your presence. This is a lesson about quitting jobs, leaving people, places, or things. It's a lesson about boundaries. Find me a boundary for you. It's about seeing every identity that says, I have to blank. I have to do this. I have to do that. But you don't understand because I have to. Because who's saying I have to? Is it the identity or is it the presence? Because presence ain't saying none of that. Soul ain't saying you. Well, you have to, because soul know darn well you don't even have a body. You identity, you. Who's saying I have to? Well, I have to show up and I have to be loyal and I have to give and I have to protect myself, because I was doing it and then I couldn't stop doing it and then, I came back because I have to. You don't have to do shit, because guess what? You don't know nobody not to. Oh, that's going to be a lie. That's going to be a lie. Swallow your spit, swallow your spit. You don't know nobody a damn thing. And hold up, after you swallow that spit, I got one more line for you. And them people don't know you shit either. Is anybody there? Is anybody there? You don't know them people not to. And them people don't know you not to. The moment presence becomes louder than identity, that's when you're no longer being dictated by these rules of these contracts that need to come to an end, and you finally start to begin to choose freedom. And he who the law sets free is free indeed. Don't let them contracts trip you up. The contracts that are unconscious need to end. Your ego created all of them. We came forward to remember ourselves. And to remember ourselves is see the system that the ego created to block us, to delay us from remembering ourselves. The ego will begin to act as if it does not comprehend what I'm saying right about now. It'll make you feel a little lost and confused because you're getting the blueprint of how it functions and punks you by creating entities that you are not. Every freaking day you put on an entity. One of these days you're going to choose to be free and in the contract. Choose wisely, because you are so free. that every freaking day you can choose bonding.